Are we going? Are we live? Hey everybody, Eric Worre. I apologize if we were a few minutes late. I think we were a couple minutes late. We had this microphone challenge. Had to quick switch microphones up in order to be able to get this thing going. How you doing? Hope you're having an amazing day, a spectacular day, an outrageously awesome day. I've been really enjoying watching your lives over the assignment for this last week. We're going to talk about Facebook Messenger today. But before we talk about Facebook Messenger, I want to talk to you about the lives, just in general. First, lighting. Do your best to get in an environment that has a reasonable amount of okay light, okay? And where I'm at right now is not a great example. And the only reason why is because we moved out of our house. We're in the Paris Hotel now because of the Most Powerful Women. The internet there is terrible. We went to my friend Alex's house, and this is kind of his little studio. But typically, instead of like a whiteboard or something, you have some type of a background that's visually interesting. This is something to write on, so I can give you some notes. But background, lighting. I see a lot of people like in their spare room or in their closet or in their, I don't know, the backdrop of it is kind of funky. Find a visually interesting background to wherever your video is. Make sure the lighting is reasonable and make sure the sound is okay. And then the other thing I would say is quickly grab their attention, do something in order to be able to make it funny, make it memorable, make it shareable, let them know what the topic is, go after it, okay, as quick as you can, all right? Continue with this process. I see some people get some people, maybe you didn't get as many views as you wanted. Everything big starts small. Just start. You're going to get better and better every single time you do it. Those of you that got traction, congratulations. You're going to be able to continue with that process, be able to continue with more conversations. What Messenger is about today is what all of this is about, is two things: creating more conversations and continuing those conversations. What do these lives do for you? It gives you the ability to create more conversations. And then you can use Messenger, direct message, Messenger, to continue the conversation, to be able to continue the dialogue, to be able to continue the back and forth, not only for your business information, but for personal information. I have, at any moment in time, I have probably 200 conversations going on at any moment in time. If you look inside my Facebook Messenger, there's 200 conversations that are in some state of back and forth. And the great part about Messenger is it just stays there, and you don't have to respond in 2 seconds. If somebody sends you something, you can get back to them when you have time, then they get back to you when they have time, you get back to them when you have time. So keeping conversation going. That's what this is all about. And before we get into Messenger, I want to just take a moment and tell all of you to listen to me when I tell you that no matter where you find yourself in the process, if you're a brand new person, just know that network marketing success is within your reach. We're working together inside of GoPro Academy to help you develop the mindset, to help you develop the skills, and help you develop the strategy to be the best version of you, the most successful. And don't ever think, I have some people say, well, I'm just not a born leader, or I'm kind of introverted, I'm shy, whatever. Just know this, no matter what your personality, you can use that personality to go to the top. Every single type of personality in the world is part of the success group, the successful group inside of network marketing. There's a great book called Strengths Finders 2.0 by the Gallup organization. They put together this book called Strengths Finders, and they have 44 different strengths that you can test yourself on to find out what your strength is. What are your 5 most dominant strengths? Okay? Now, in that process, what I will tell you is no matter what your 5 strengths are, you can use those strengths to go all the way to the top. You can use those strengths to be able to become a top earner inside of network marketing. So don't ever believe somebody else's opinion of your chances for success if it's not a great opinion. Don't ever believe your own little mind, this little whisper inside of your mind that says, I wonder if I'm not good enough. I wonder if this is not for me. And everybody goes through this mindset of, is this for me? Am I enough? Am I built for this? Can I handle all the emotional ups and downs? And we talked about this earlier, and I'll talk about it again. Inside of social media or any part of network marketing, things don't get easier. Just so you know. Things stay the same. You are either weak or you're strong. Hear me when I say that? Things don't get easier. You get stronger. Riding a bicycle doesn't get easier. You get better at riding a bicycle. And you put that skill behind you. Brushing your teeth doesn't get easier. You get stronger and it becomes a muscle. Prospecting doesn't get easier. You get stronger. Adversity doesn't change. You just get stronger. What used to be devastating is now just a little nuisance. And pretty soon, it's not even noticeable. So in this process of GoPro Academy, what I'm working with you on is to help you get stronger. That's what this is all about. Now, we use all these different lessons. We use social media, we use 20 and 30, and all the different campaigns we're going to go through over the course of this year for you to get stronger. And it will appear magically that it feels easier, even though it's not. Okay? So, be encouraged. Know it's a process. Not everything gets easier overnight. Work with me, stay committed, and we will make this happen together. Okay? So I'm going to give you some simple steps inside of Facebook Messenger. And these apply to text message. These apply to direct message in Instagram. These apply to direct message inside of Twitter. These apply to any form of electronic message. Okay, on any platform. If you've got, what do they have in Asia? Is it WhatsApp, MeChat, or WeChat, WeChat and Viber and WhatsApp. All of these, it's the same process. But inside of Facebook, because we're talking about social media, I'm using that as a proxy. I'm using that as a basic. We'll build some framework around that, and then you can apply it to all the others. Okay? So, rule number 1, and I'm going to try and do this. Okay, sorry. Rule number 1, it's all about conversation. Can you see that? You can see it? It's all about conversation. That's all we're trying to do. So, when you're posting, you're following the suggestions that we've provided over the course of this entire course and everything that we do, and you've posted something, somebody's commented. You posted something, somebody's liked. Somebody shared. And you can appreciate them by starting a conversation with them in a direct message. So, conversation is everything. Start conversations. Now, using Messenger, start conversations. So, what are some examples of starting conversations? What I like is there's thanks, there's congrats, there's questions. Hey, thanks for liking my post I did on goat yoga. Question. Have you ever tried it? Well, congratulations. Happy birthday. You know, what are you going to do that's what are your plans for your birthday? What are you going to do that's fun? Thanks for this. Question. Congratulations. Question. I appreciate it. Question. Right? And why are you throwing in a question into Messenger? Because that creates a conversation. You ever notice the threads that stop inside of any Messenger platform is when there's no longer a question. It's just like, oh, appreciate that. What are you going to do? Send back a smile emoji? What are they expected to do? Most people don't respond because they didn't think there was something to respond to. So give them something to respond to. Start a conversation. Respond. Give them something to respond to in the form of a question. In the form of, I've really noticed this, or maybe it's thanks, congrats, an observation, and then a question. You know, the thing I love most about cupcakes is this. What about you? See what I'm saying? So find a way to just start the conversation. Right? And when it's appropriate, you can have it be a business conversation. You can have it be a business question. I'm going to give you a bunch of different types of business-oriented questions that you can ask inside of Messenger and any direct message platform, right? So let's talk about those. I'm going to create a little list of these questions. I want you to write them down, okay? Let's say it's a question about, or let's say you're talking about your product. Let's say you're in cosmetics, you're talking about your mascara, or you're in weight loss, you're talking about your shake, or you're in travel, you're talking about whatever it is your product is. Find a way to ask a question that would create a conversation around the product. So, for example, have you ever thought, or do you know anybody that's really interested in losing weight? Try not to go direct at people when it comes to a personal issue. It's hey fatty, you want to get in shape? That's usually not so great. But if you just say, oh, do you know anybody else that would like to lose some weight? And let them step into the conversation if they want to. Because I found this thing is just amazing. You know, you just do this and this. You do these two things. And, wow. Or, have you ever tried essential oils in your house or in your life? Because I just find them unbelievable. Where do you get yours? Whatever type of conversation. See what I'm saying? When you travel, do you like to travel on a budget? Do you like to look for discounts? Or you just go when you want to go? Questions. Think about a series of questions you can ask about your product or service that would be interesting. Instead of saying, here's a amateur question. I have this great shake for weight loss. You want to try it? I have this great thing, that saves people money on travel. Will you look at my link? It's like, come on. Start a conversation, ask some questions that has people, well, now that you mention it, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I use essential oils, or I like to travel on a budget. What's your favorite tip for traveling on a budget? What's your secret hack for lowering your luggage fees? What's the best way that you know in order to be able to not get a middle seat? Or whatever it happens to be. Start the conversation, start the conversation, start the conversation. So that's one area, is around product or service. Another area of conversation is around entrepreneurship. One of my very favorite questions to any prospect is, have you ever thought of going into business for yourself? Have you ever thought of it? Has it ever crossed your mind? You know, it's not a first question for somebody you just met, but after you go into, you go back and forth, is there ever a circumstance where you go into business for yourself? Have you ever thought of firing your boss? Are you working for somebody else now? Do you enjoy that? Would you ever, have you ever thought of working from home? I see other people working from home, and I enjoy working from home. Is that ever an option for you? See, because when you talk to people about entrepreneurship, it unlocks this little hidden ego in people. It's really cool. So if I say, you ever thought of being your own boss? Yeah, I thought about it. And then they act all smart, because they've watched Shark Tank a couple times. So you ever thought about doing it? Yeah, I thought about it. Have you ever done it? You ever pulled the trigger? They're going to say yes or they're going to say no. Now, if they say no, you can ask why not. And they're going to give you a list of things. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the product. I didn't have the expertise. I didn't have. Okay? And you have a solution for all of those things. Right? Or they're going to say, yes, I did. How did it go? Well, not so well. If it failed, then not so well. Or maybe they have a business that is doing just barely enough to be able to survive, and they have all kinds of overhead, and they're going to tell you some more stories. You have solutions for that too. So no matter where they go in their answers to entrepreneurship, let's say they have a successful business. Have you ever thought about diversifying your business? Having another business to be able to create some extra cash flow. See, a lot of people are interested in cash flow. I love talking about cash flow too. Are you ever interested in developing another area of cash flow to your life? Great questions. These things really work. So ask them about your product. Ask them about their life. Ask them about your passion. Ask them about the entrepreneurship in general. You could even talk to them about network marketing. Have you ever heard about network marketing? What's your opinion about network marketing? What do you think? I've learned a lot about it, but what do you think about it? Just go be direct. Ask them about really anything, but find a way to do it that's interesting. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What's your plans for the future? What do you do for work right now? Oh, I'm a waitress. You going to do that for forever? Is that the plan for forever? Or you ever consider doing something else? You ever consider expanding into something else? What did you want to do before you decided to do what you're doing right now in order to be able to pay the bills? Just conversation. But this is private now. It's not out on somebody's wall, and it's not in front of the world. It's not embarrassing somebody. Have you ever noticed how candid and direct people are in text message? Way more candid and direct than they are in person. Way more honest, frankly, than they are in person. Same thing's true for direct message. Same thing's true for Facebook Messenger. Now, questions. You don't want to, when you're done with your piece, whatever you're going to say, you need to end it with a question, because that puts the ball back in their court. So with all of these, I have 200 going without trying. Think about how many you can get started if you try. Ask a question and then leave it be. Move on to the next thing. Right? If they don't respond, they don't respond. Some people don't check Messenger that much. Okay? Doesn't matter. And if you're friends with them, you can come back and say hello, question mark. Are you there? Knock, knock. Are you there? Or what I do with my kids, if they don't respond, I text them. I don't respond. I send one question mark. Like, an hour later. They don't respond. I send 2 question marks. Then I send 3 question marks. Like, hello? Knock, knock. Right? So they know that's my little pattern. You can have a sense of humor with it. Are you alive? Do you even check Messenger? Are you even here? Or am I talking to the cloud? Right? So have a little fun with it. Don't overstress. What happens if people don't respond? What do I do if people don't respond? When you have a new follower, Denise asks, do you introduce yourself? Say, hey, thanks for, my name's Eric, and nice to meet you. Of course. Just another conversation. Nice to meet you. How'd you find me? Again, question. Leave everything with something in their court so they can come back and you just have conversation. Okay? Now, other tips for Messenger. You can use Messenger for conversation, information, follow-up, links, etc. And it keeps a nice little record of this conversation for you and with you. One of the things that has worked 2 particular strategies I want to talk about today. And then I'm going to open it up for questions, okay? Voice. You can use voice in Facebook Messenger to personalize what it is that you do. Now, this took a little bit. Do you have anybody who voice texts you? Do you guys have anybody who voice texts you all the time? It took some getting used to for me. At the beginning, it was a little bit annoying. It's like, oh, just text me. I got to listen. I got to click on the link now. But people are, I think it's a trend that is developing, which is voice through direct message, because it's personalizing things. So you can use voice, and you can send them the same thing you're going to type. It says, hey, how you doing, Sally? I see you started following me. I appreciate that. How'd you find me? My name's Eric, and this is what I do, and I appreciate your connection. I hope you're having an amazing day, and take care. Hope to hear from you. Right? And you sent the voice message, and all of a sudden now you're a real person. You go beyond all this other stuff. And maybe they type it back. If they don't, that's fine. Then voice it back to them. Oh, this and this and this, and I got into goat yoga. Here's how I got into goat yoga. It's a crazy story. I have this goat named Sally, and she's amazing, and she eats all the flowers in the backyard. And we saw goat yoga, and one day we were doing yoga, and then Sally jumped up on our backs, and the rest is history. Crazy, right? So, whatever your story is, ask a question. Have them respond, and then now you got a voice conversation. Okay? Voice. So I'm going to give you several assignments in this week's lesson with using Messenger that are going to make you uncomfortable over the course of the next 7 days. But I do it in love, because things don't get easier. You get stronger. So using voice and three-way messaging and group messaging. Now, group messaging can be a little bit annoying, so you got to be careful with that. Don't be adding people to group messages without their permission. But let's say you want to follow up. Let's say you're new or you're dealing with somebody that you know personally. And what you should know by now is third party is better for you to be able to build a business with than first party. In other words, your words, your information, your knowledge is not as valuable to your friends as somebody else's knowledge. Okay? So if you've heard of a three-way phone call where you get on the phone with one of your prospects and you three-way in your upline or some other leader within your organization, you introduce those two people and let the other leader answer the questions of the prospect. A three-way phone call is incredibly powerful. Big problem. Well, there's lots of problems with three-way phone calls. Problem number one is people are resistant to getting on the phone with a third person, generally. Even if I say, hey, you have a second, I want to introduce you to somebody. They're like, they're kind of resistant because they don't know who this person is and what's going on. Number two is scheduling a call with your upline, let's say your sponsor. They might not be available when your prospect is available. So you have a scheduling challenge trying to figure this stuff out. And three, it's difficult to manage multiple of those simultaneously. So here's how Facebook Messenger is changing everything. Facebook Messenger is changing everything when it comes to follow-up and three-way conversations. Let's say a person says, yeah, I'm kind of interested in your weight loss product, but I have some questions. Say, fantastic. I have a person that I work with that's an expert. I'm going to connect them in a Facebook message to you, and you can ask any question you want of them, and they'll be able to answer it better than I could. Okay? So you just start a separate Facebook message with the three of you, and you introduce everybody. Hey, prospect, this is my sponsor. Sponsor, this is prospect. You use their names, of course. Prospect has some questions about how the weight loss system works, and I thought you could answer it better than anyone. Thanks so much. And you just leave it there, and now the sponsor can, at their time and at their schedule, they can pop in there and they can say, oh, nice to meet you, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect. I understand you have some questions. How can I help? The prospect asks the question, and now they're back and forth in a conversation, and you are moderating as a connector of those people. Now, here's why this is great. If you have people who are asking questions about your product, your service, your company, your comp plan, your credibility, what's going on in your local area, the support that's available, the events, etc., you can start a three-way conversation with as many prospects as you have. And you can go to the busiest person in your whole company, and you could three-way them in. Doesn't need to just be one person. You can go to your whole upline chain. You can figure out who all those people are, and you can try out and find out who's better at some and who's not as good at some. And you can connect those people. And if I'm the upline, this is the greatest thing in the world, because I sit back and I look at my inbox and I see my team engaging with me with prospects. I'm like, I got some people working. I got some action happening. And I look into those on my time. At 1 a.m. when I can't sleep, I pull up my messenger and I respond to somebody without pinging their phone and waking them up. I respond to them at 1 a.m. when I feel like it. I respond to them on the airplane. I respond to them when I'm on my time. And I say, okay, here's what's going on. Here's the answer to your question here. How can I help you here? Here's what's going on here. Let me edify the company there. Let me do this there. And I just go bang, 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 bang. If anybody responds, fantastic. If they don't, I've done my thing. I'm great to go. But Messenger has liberated and scaled three-way follow-up, three-way closing. Because guess what? Your upline can answer objections better than you can. Your upline, or somebody else, doesn't even need to be upline, could be your friend. Let's say, give you an example. Let's say someone who is a single mom asks the question, I just don't know how I'm going to do it because I'm a single mom. And it's really, really hard. And you're a guy. How do you answer that without totally risking offending this person? Say, what I would do is say, listen, I could never even understand the challenges of a single mom, but I do know an incredible single mom in our company that's doing very, very well. And if anybody could answer the questions of how a single mom could do it inside of this business, this lady could. So you could start a three-way conversation and say, single mom person in the company, even if they're not your upline, they're just a friend. Here's my prospect, and they're wondering if they can do it because they're a single mom. And since I'm not a single mom and you are, and you're wildly successful, I thought I would connect and see if you could help answer her questions and if it's possible for her to do it as a single mom. So I'm just introducing you, and I'll sit back and let you guys have a conversation. And now they can talk from experience, right? People are always looking for people who look like them, who have their common experience. If you talk to a nurse, guess what that nurse wants to talk to? Another nurse. Can they succeed? If you're talking to a person of color, they want to talk to another person of color. If you're talking to somebody who's over 50, they want to talk to somebody else who's over 50. They're talking to somebody who's 18, they want to talk to somebody else who's 18. Find some like-minded people. It doesn't always just have to be your sponsor. Find some like-minded friends inside of your business and connect them with the prospect in order for that person. If somebody reached out to me and says, hey, let's say I'm in your company, and somebody reached out and said, hey, I have this prospect who is wondering if network marketing is for real, and I thought maybe you could help them. I pop in there, here's why I think it's for real. Here's 3 quick things. Ba, ba, ba. Hope that helps. And, we'll see where it goes from there. But 3-way conversations. Now, guess what you can use in these 3-way conversations? Voice. Voice. Doesn't just have to be in print. You can do a voice introduction of these people. You as the upline or the expert or the leader or the person with the certain background can jump on and say, with voice saying, hey, single mom, I understand what you're going through. I still have my days, but let me tell you what I did about it. I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. And I hope that you'd make the decision to do the same thing. Now that's different than typing. Now you have a conversation going. Now there's some emotional connection. Now there's a real, they'll usually end up friending each other up, developing a little bit more of a relationship. And that's what you want to end up doing, is developing more of a relationship inside of this conversation. This personalizes a business transaction. This makes it real. So I'm going to give you some assignments, and I'm going to answer some questions. So think about questions that you've got and start typing them in because we have a delay. Assignment number 1. Is for you to start 100 conversations. Does that show up? All right. 100 conversations in the next 7 days. Start them. in Messenger. Start 100 conversations. Number 2, I want you to use voice in at least 50 of those conversations over the course of the next 7 days. That's assignment number 2. Assignment number 3, I want you to do a 3-way messenger with at least 10 prospects in the next 7 days. Those are your big 3. 100 conversations, at least 50 in voice, or 50 in voice of those 100. You got to put voice in there somewhere. And 3-way, at least 10 prospects with an expert, an upline, a friend, a like-minded soul in order to be able to succeed. Help them see the picture. Okay? So, with that, let me see if there's any other questions, and the monitor's behind, so I'm sorry I'm not looking at you. I'm seeing great tips, love this. How can I use voice for presentation on WhatsApp group? Sure, of course.
Someone said, should you ask them before you're going to invite them into a 3-way conversation?
Could you ask them before you're going to invite them into a 3-way conversation? Ask who, the upline or the prospect? If you're talking about the prospect, say, listen, I would, I know this other single mom that overcame the same obstacles. If I introduce you, maybe she can answer some questions. Is it okay if I introduce you on Messenger? You make the introduction. So yeah, I think that's classy. How do you manage your hundreds of conversations and keep the overview? You just see in your Facebook Messenger, it's bold if it's unresponded to. If it's unread, if it's unresponded to, you just scroll through and see the bold ones, and you go in and respond to those. And if they're lighter colored, that means you've either read them or done something with them. And I would just have the habit of, if you read it, do something. If you read it, respond, send a voice message, ask a question, do something in order to be able to keep them moving. Then you just deal with the bolds. How do you keep track of who you're supposed to follow up with? Like I said, Tammy, whoever's bold, that's what you're supposed to be doing, because every single one of those ones that's shaded should be, the next step should have already been taken. They will love to have you reach out. You have their attention. Yeah.
Someone else said, how do you deal with people that ghost you or don't respond?
How do you deal with people that don't respond? If they're a friend, you can have a sense of humor and do the question mark thing. Hello, do you even look at your Facebook Messenger? If they're a friend, you could text them and say, I sent you a Facebook message. Did you ever get it? But mostly, don't stress too much. You do 100 of these, you're going to have enough people to talk to. You don't need to worry about it.
Another good one, instead of the question marks, because sometimes people take that as offensively, is you push the GIF button to send a GIF to someone.
Yeah.
And then you type in hello, and then it'll pull up a funny GIF of a bear waving or a kid waving.
You could do a gift. You could click on the gift button. I don't know if you're hearing what Alex is saying. There's the GIF, where you can send them a goofy bear waving or some hello, or have a sense of humor with it. Don't be annoying with them, but just say.
It takes out the risk of offending them.
Well, the other side that I've done with people is you must not read Facebook Messenger. Yeah. Give them the out. Let them have the assumption that a lot of people don't. It's a new area for them. You must not read Messenger. That's okay. I'll try and reach you some other way. But mostly don't stress too much.
And people will listen to voice messages. They can't.
People will listen to voice messages. I know. And when you get a voice text, voice message, voice anything, you're going to listen. You just are. How do I learn how to do voice and group messages? Just go group. All you have to do is start a message inside of Messenger, and add two people, and start one. Practice with your friends. Practice with your family if you want. Google it. Search it inside of Facebook. This is not hard. in order to be able to do it. A lot of people just talk about themselves. How do you deal with that on Messenger? That's okay. I like people talking about themselves. The more they talk about themselves, the more I can help them with a solution for themselves. It's okay. Hey, what's going on with this? What's going on? I want somebody to talk. It's when they don't talk, and when you're talking too much about yourself, that becomes an issue. So ask questions and let them talk. Let them go. Keep the things going. On a PC, you can easily go to unread messages. Same thing on the Mac. How do you answer, is there additional payment after this registration fee? Huh? Oh, objections? Use your sponsor for that, or just answer whatever the truth is. I mean, are you talking about, I think what you're saying is, after somebody signs up for your company, is there ongoing expense for your business? Is there anything more to pay? I said you could tell them that's optional, but we're going to assume that we're going to figure out a plan for you to be able to earn more than what you're putting in to your company and into the growth of your business. That's the goal. So if you're not friends with the influencer in your company, do you message them first and ask them? Yes. I ask them if they'd be a third-party validator. Just say, if I, from time to time, utilize you on Facebook Messenger for questions I'm not equipped to answer, would you be open to me adding you to those conversations? So from time to time with my prospect, would you come in and offer your wisdom, offer your advice? They're going to say yes, especially when you use Messenger. When they use phone, they're like, oh, just go to your sponsor because my phone's blown up, it's too much. But Messenger, they can manage 100 of them. And it's also a way for them to sort and see who's actually really working in the organization. If I have a really hot one I don't want to lose, you can mark the conversation as unread. Yep. Starting conversations are actually having conversations. Well, starting or having, both. By starting, you're having one. That's the way I look at it. Put things in their court. If they don't respond, move on. You can. I mean, unless you really, really care, you can go back to them. I love a good GIF. GIF?
Ongoing argument of the internet.
What is it?
GIF.
What does it stand for?
It doesn't stand for anything.
It stands for nothing?
Hang on, I'm going to look this up because the inventor of the GIF announced what it's meant to be. But of course, I won't know from reading it.
Did my message get lost or you get kidnapped via whatever? That brings people a laugh and good response. Yes, of course. Once I send the tool, people around 90% never respond again. Because you didn't start a conversation, Olga. You just sent the tool. Hi, my name is Olga. Here's a video. Watch it. Build some rapport, sister. Build some rapport before you just send them a link. Create a little mystery. Create a little suspense. Have a little conversation. Set up the video. Let them know, if I sent you a link, would you watch it? When could you watch it for sure? So if I sent you that link, you could watch, and I called you after that time, you've seen it for sure, right? All right, what's the best number and time for me to call? All right, here's the link. I'll talk to you Thursday. That's way different than link, conversation, link. Hi, my name is Olga. Link. It's like, you weren't interested in a conversation at all. You just want to send me your stupid link. I'm just telling you what prospects are thinking. That's why they're not responding. Like, really? 25 minutes the video is 25 minutes. Is that too long? There's no too long or too short on a video. If it's interesting, people will watch unlimited. If it's boring, people won't watch 2 minutes. There's a little microphone. Hold it down and speak into it. Yep, that's how you do voice. I take 4 to 8 business days to respond to voice messages. That's fine. No problem. A little late but live. Hey, how you doing? Mind-blowing live video. Cool. The company should have a quick peak interest video. Yes. Don't have any problem with signing them up, but not able to make them work together later. How do you plug them in? You can use 3 ways. You can use Messenger to keep people going with assignments, to keep them moving, stay in conversation, stay going. Because, see, one thing about that people forget is when people sign up, they're still a prospect. Did you understand that? People join your business. They're a distributor. They're still a prospect. Until they rank advance, until they earn some money, until they get a check, until they get a customer, until they get a team, they're not really anything but a higher qualified prospect. So keep the conversation going. After they've signed up, keep it going. Oh, what's going on? Oh, you're trying your product. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, so people are dumping GIFs. What is it?
GIF.
GIF?
GIF.
What does it stand for?
It doesn't stand for anything. That's just how it's pronounced.
That's annoying then. GIF. It's a GIF. Olympia put in the I know GIF.
But it kind of keeps the conversation light.
Keeps it light, keeps it fun.
Because that's what friends send to each other.
Yeah, they send emojis, they send,
Yeah. You don't want to come in like a...
they're pitchy,
salesperson
yeah.
with no
Use,
emojis and no humor.
right.
Yeah. So they're great to use.
all right, keep going, down. G, hard G for GIF. Graphic interface. It stands for graphic interface, Diane Hart says. And Nicole says, hello.
I'm gonna pull your live feed.
It stands for graphic interface. You don't know. Tammy says, I've been implementing a lot and I'm constantly on social media right now. Will this get more manageable as I get better at it? Of course. Actually, like I said before, things don't get easier, but you'll get stronger. It's going to be fine. This is where people are. This is where the world is. I mean, this is a way for you to keep your store open and for people to walk through the doors, see what you have. So yeah, it's going to be fine. If my upline doesn't follow the three-way messages on Messenger, who will give them a bad impression for me? How should I solve this problem? John Hansen asks. I would just talk to your upline and say, let's say the upline is resistant to three ways or whatever. I would go and say, listen, from time to time, you have a better hammer, you have more influence with my prospects than I do, and I don't want to bother you and take up your time on a three-way phone call. But if I add you to a three-way message on Facebook, and I let you know that I sent you that message, would you be able to jump in and respond on your time? And we can try it and see how it works? They'll usually say yes to that. If they say no, then find somebody else in your company that you can utilize as a leverage tool, and they can use you as a leverage tool with their prospects. It doesn't always have to be your upline. What percentage of contact do you have in personal message versus text? It depends on where you started the connection. If you're interacting on Facebook, let's say you're posting stuff, or you're doing a live, and they're interacting, and they're watching your video or something, and then you could, it's usually better to stay in that platform and to say, hey, I saw you watch my live. Hey, thanks for stopping by. And then ask them some sort of question. It's easier to keep platform on platform. But let's say you're using WhatsApp and international, and WhatsApp's widely used around the world. Maybe if you start a conversation there, you can continue it there. But usually where you start is where you continue. Graphics Interchange Format is the acronym for GIF. Graphics Interchange Format. Hello, Rodney says. It stands for something. I knew it had to stand for something. See why you sign up for GoPro Academy? You sign up for the pronunciation of GIF. That's why. Because that's the goal.
Also, I've got a whole folder full of Eric GIFs. Don't forget that.
Oh, you do?
Oh yeah, they're going on the big screens at Most Powerful Women.
Oh, no.
We only show them at live events.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your dancing ones.
Oh, boy. All right. There's a couple. What time we have?
1. 5 to 1.
Okay. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. Scroll down. See if there's any more questions. I'm using the messenger a lot. The debate over how to pronounce. Okay. Going back and do it again. Yeah. Now, Olga, don't take that as a criticism. I love you. I'm glad you're here. This is awesome. We're learning together. Okay? But we get better in the process. Found it hard to turn the conversation to business. Ask questions. Ask better questions. Ask better questions. It's like, I love the entrepreneurial questions. I love questions that are curiosity driven towards your products. I love if I would you. If I had a way to show you how to create some more cash flow in your life, if I had a way to help you lose some weight, if I had a way for you to make your house a more healthy house, if I had a way to show you how to save money on da-da-da-da, would you? If I could show you, would you? If I had something, would you take a look? If there was a way for you to go into business for yourself without any risk, would you be interested in checking that out? But a lot of the conversations like we had with Emily and different people is more along the lines of, hey, look, this is out of the blue. This is something completely different. You could try that approach. I have an intuition about you, and this is completely out of the blue, and if you're not interested, just let me know. But I'm building something, and I think you're cool, and I think maybe the two of us could do something powerful. Would you ever be open to building something on your own or building something along with me in order to be able to create some more cash in your life? And if that makes you uncomfortable, just forget about it. But try not to do cut and paste all the time. I send this message to every single person I know. And then I send this follow-up to every single person I know, same exact one. And then I send this, link to every single person I know. People are going to see through that. They're really, really good at seeing through that. Do you take your Instagram contacts to Facebook? If you want to, but you don't need to. You can do the same thing on Instagram. All this process works on every platform. Keep going down. Automated messages. I would stay away from automated messages. That's really advanced and very difficult to make personal. I use them sometimes for people to, type this word into one of my lives or something, for people to be able to learn more about GoPro Academy or something. But I think for the average person, those robots are a mistake. All right. Look. I'm going to look through the rest of the questions later, but you have your assignments. I want to keep you focused this week, and each week I'm going to be adding little pieces to your arsenal, your skill set, your confidence, your strategy, your belief, right? That's what we're doing here together, is you're developing new muscles in order to be able to be a more powerful network marketing professional. So I'm proud of all of you. I'm excited for those of you that I'm going to see at the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing event that starts tomorrow. At the Paris Hotel here in Las Vegas. For the rest of you, go out there, make your assignments happen, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Okay? Go change the world by changing yourself. I'll see you.